Hey there, I'm Sue with Ava's Bridal Couture in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas.
I am so glad you're here. Today we're talking about bustles. By the end of this video, you're going to know all the styles and what you're going for your wedding dress. A bustle is taking all the train material and putting it up onto the dress. It makes you hands-free at the reception, and it makes the dress convertible so that you can wear it one way for the ceremony and another for the reception.
Before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there and ring the bell for notifications. That way I can give you tips and teach you anything that I've got planned every single Wednesday. If you're a new bride and you have not started shopping for your dress, I want to meet you. So I'll put a link in the description that you can tell me a little about yourself in the comment box, and let's get started. If you're a bride that's already purchased your dress but you're going to need alterations, I'm a pro seamstress, and I'd love for you to meet our team. You're gonna love working with us.
For the designers that we carry in our store, like Maggie Sotero, Laura Bridals, Maury Lee, Casablanca, and everyone in our price point, like Essence of Australia, Stella York, all of those designers do not include bustles. So if you're in a special case where you either purchased a dress that was pre-owned, or you bought a custom dress, or you just happen to buy a designer that has that as part of their marketing, by and large, you will not have a bustle included with your dress. And if you do have a bustle, you're going to want it measured to your height. I would not install a bustle or invest in one if you are not going to be dancing at your reception, if you're wearing your dress for a very short amount of time, or if cost is an issue, you might skip it. And if you are not going to be walking around or wearing your dress with the train down for very long at all, you do not need to invest in it. But if you are going to be mopping your floor all night with your train, I want you to go ahead and bustle it up. There is a misconception that the hanger loop right here is your bustle, and that is not the case. Back in the day, our bustles were worn on our wrist, which was this loop, but all of this material just gets hung on your wrist. By the end of the night, your wrist is red, and here you've spent all this money on your dress and on this great party and reception, and you, my dear, are inconvenienced all night while your guests are having the time of their lives. We don't want that. We want you to be hands-free. We want your train and your dress to be photo camera ready at all times and not just look like a mess that's draping from your arm. So my advice would be to invest in $100, $200 for a nice bustle. You can even DIY one for no cost and get on with your bad self. If your bustle breaks, we're going to cover that in another video that I'm going to link in the description below. If you haven't been attending our weekly group coaching sessions, they are free to Ava's Brides, and you will learn so much from me and our team live, asking questions about your specific dress. I welcome you, invite you to attend, and if you need any information about those live coachings, go ahead and check the description. American over bustle on a ball gown or A-line skirt. I'm going to show you some examples like this one with a full lace hem and this one with a clean tulle skirt. Here's one with a lace hem and details throughout the skirt. You can see it when it's moving as she's walking. This is a great example for a bride who's going to have boots on, dancing a lot. See how the dress is completely up as opposed to this one? This one you can see it's touching and draping. That's going to be a great comparison for you as you're choosing your bustle. If you have a textured skirt like this example here, just know that this is the American bustle, but I'll show you later in this video what it looks like in a French. They look almost identical, and you may have a hard time in a video or picture telling the difference.
If you like this video and you learned something new today, go ahead and give me that thumbs up, and I'll see you in the comments below.
Comment below and tell me if you broke your bustle on your wedding day. I definitely broke mine, and I'll show you some tips. Now let's move on to the French or under bustle for a ball gown or A-line skirt. See the way that the volume is down low here with the French bustle? I love the way that it's clean at the waist, but then gives you volume at the hemline. Here's an example of a horsehair hem and a tulle skirt. You can see how beautiful it is. I don't love the French bustle in every fabric, but I do love them in certain fabrics. Try them in person with your seamstress and see which one you love the most. And the third style is the invisible bustle. This is for the ball gown or A-line skirt. When you have an invisible bustle, everything is tucked under and it gives a very minimal, clean look. Don't you love it? It is the most expensive of the three, but we're not talking about hundreds of dollars here, so you might try the invisible bustle. Keep in mind with the invisible bustle, your fabric will be rubbing on the ground. See how it's going to touch It's not always an issue, so talk with your seamstress and see if your fabric will cause any problems for you.
Any of the products and links that I mentioned in this video, I'll go ahead and include for you in the description box, as well as my contact information.
I also offer remote services, so if you don't live in the area, I am your girl. Now let's cover the fitted skirts. We're going to go over the same 3 bustles. The American is first. This one's kind of a hybrid. See how these all go below the rear, but that first one didn't? These are so clean because you can show off your athleticism and your beautiful curves, but then tuck that bustle in at a perfect place where the skirt begins. We've got lots of great examples for you here. This one's a soft skirt with no crinoline. It lays really natural. This one has a lot of crinoline in the skirt and it lays very voluminous.
You're gonna love working with our team. Everyone here is very joyful and genuine and fill you with value by teaching you things about the process that you need to know as a new bride.
So much out there that you don't even need, and you don't need to take time away from work and your busy schedule. We'll connect and get you started. Up next is the French bustle on a fitted skirt. See how different it looks with each type of fabric? This one has a textured skirt and everything's tucked in to make it look seamless. I love the idea of putting a bow on top of the bustle to give it some sass. The invisible bustle. Here we are, our third and final bustle. You'll notice here that the invisible bustle is perfect for the bride that's like, I don't love bustles. If you're the bride that has always hated the way bustles look, you might fall in love with the invisible bustle.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I can't wait to see you in the store. But before you go, comment below and tell me what your favorite takeaway was from this video, and I will see you in the description box. See you next week.
Are you ready for some bonus tips at the end of this video? One bonus tip I want to give you is if you have a soft fabric like this one with a cape, see how there's capes on the shoulders, but then there's a soft fabric in the skirt? You can bustle your veil and you can bustle a cape in the same way. So we'll pin this up so that you can see it, and sometimes your accessories will stump you a bit, but once we see you in person or on video, if you're working with us remotely, we'll teach you how that will look so beautiful and strong. My next bonus tip is ask your seamstress to pin your bustle in separate layers. See how I'm pinning this one with the tool in one layer and then I did the lining in another? When you're working with a soft outer fabric, even if it's lace, you might consider doing your lining separately. It will give a totally different look. It is a more premium service charge in alterations, but it's so worth it, and we're not talking hundreds of dollars. If you're over budget with your total alterations bill, a lot of time your seamstress will try to help keep you in budget by not recommending some of these premium features. But if they're important to you and you want to make sure your reception dress looks a certain way, ask for them with your seamstress. Sometimes she's trying to help you with cost, but then you can tell her that you're open to investing in your bustle even if you are overspending in other areas. Here's an A-line ball gown where we're separating the 2 layers, and see how the outer soft layer is really soft and you can see the color a lot better. If you put them all together, the color looks a little different.
Welcome to Ava's Bridal. I want to personally meet you and welcome you. It'll be so great to get to know you and get you in.